Hey, I'm here with my friend and teacher Wim Deputter from Belgium, Leuven. And what are we doing this weekend here?
So first off, you call me teacher, yes?
Yes.
I don't see it that way. Look, I just saw some stuff that I learned, and to be honest, you're one of my most favorite people to work with over the years because we have a good understanding, that's first. And second, because you always poke me in the right direction, so your questions actually help me learn more and give me more trust in the things I show. And that's true. So
Thank you very much for that. So, what are you sharing with us this weekend?
So the thing is, like, recently, what I discovered, just listening to stuff online and the way the world is going. Like, so the most valuable thing I picked up recently was that actually, when you teach a class, you should actually look what happens in front of you. So in the past, it's always, like, I used to be a teacher for physical education. And I tell you, okay, make your lesson preparation. That's how you want your class to go. But what I never told me was, okay, you plan your class, but then students don't reply to your class in the way they should, and actually have to adapt your class. Mm-hmm. It's pretty insane that being a formally formed physical education teacher, they don't give you that nuance. Yeah. So, long story short, have like a bit of an idea what you want to achieve in the long run. Yeah. But don't put too much value on your plan. And if you care too much about a certain outcome of your class or game or whatever, yeah, then you always get frustrated because people never just react the way you want it, and then actually look what happens in front of you and adapt your class to that, and then afterwards reflect on that, and then maybe make your class better. So next time it's a bit more the way you wished it would be. Yeah.
So since I know you, you are pretty consistent in the parts that you play half guard and that you have a really reactive game, and I think you don't believe so much in bad positions or, let's say, winning positions. You are just, as you say, you are closer or more far away from something. But besides that, you changed your approach or the stuff you are working on quite a lot. Like you had this phase where you had the shoulder escape, aka baby bridge, or you were like flat on your back, and now you are more like curled in. Are there any areas in your game where you say this was a rabbit hole? Now in hindsight, I wish I would have kept digging deeper.
Rabbit holes, I wish I would have kept in going deeper. No, because everything is the way it is, because things happen the way they happened. Yeah, is it good or bad? Yeah, well, you can always wish you're a multimillionaire somewhere in Hawaii, but maybe that's better. Maybe that's, who knows? Yeah, so so things are good the way they are. But like, I probably wish maybe I would not. Okay, look, I play half guard mostly. Why? Not because I'm particularly fond of half guard. It's just in the beginning, like, okay. Look, let's go full to the bottom of it. Look, it took me 2 years now to really see the value of this constraints-led approach and the teaching of it. Yes? Mm-hmm. Okay. So if I really go back to myself, like, why do I always play half guard in the beginning? Because rolling with Chechens, good wrestlers, and in the chaos of the early game, that is pretty much the only thing you always get to. And like for me, it was getting smashed or at least get hold of that leg. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe I would have had partners who constrained themselves a little bit more, or a coach would have constrained me and my opponent, or my training partners a bit more. I would have had more time early on exploring the full scope of the game, and then I would not have dug into half guard that much. Now, do I like half guard? Well, it's love-hate, because the good thing is I can be effective from there. The downside is after a while it becomes a crutch you lean on too much. It's also now my little hold in the game for I can freely explore things, because if I get in trouble, I can always get back to half guard. Yeah, but the downside is look at my face. Yeah, I have a scratch here, I have a scratch there. My neck hurts, my shoulders hurt, my nerves tingle. I always have back pain on that side because I'm always crooked in that side. So probably in the long run, it's not the healthiest game you can play. The one guy in my gym who has the most unpassable guard, that's Suleiman Becca. Like, he mostly competes in AGP, a very good guy. And like, for me in here, well, the people in Europe that I've trained with, like, and actually I'm not saying he's the best guard worldwide, but from all the people I trained with, he's definitely one of the best guards, definitely the best guard I consistently train with, and probably one of the best guards I ever encountered in my life. Yeah. Well, so thinking about him, He doesn't have any wrestling years, doesn't have any neck pain. Weirdly enough, his fingers are still intact and he always plays open guard. So he must be doing something right that I did wrong, or it's genetic, and I don't want to believe that. So, yeah.
Does he use pistol grips for his fingers?
No, he uses this, but I think it's mostly about not being an idiot and hanging on. Well, okay, roll with training partners, we do not kick like that, which we figure out over the years. And then if you have a partner like that, don't hang on like an idiot to until your fingers are destroyed, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Yesterday we talked about in the super early beginning we trained with Kazeka Muniz. You many years before me, but now ADCC and BJJ, especially Nogi, is really heavy influenced by wrestling, and I think back then he wanted to push the wrestling away and let people more play from the back and everything.
Kazeka?
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest. To be honest, I didn't train with Kazeka that many times. I was sometimes there, but most of the time I trained with my coach, who was his student, and he was still a white belt who used to train there and teach me the stuff he learned. But I had some exposure to Kazeka, and I always remember they did the wrestling warm-ups, doing the flips, doing the walkovers, doing like the athletic way of doing things. Now we say no warm-ups. I'm also more in the camp of no warm-ups. But then again, maybe it's valuable to do it twice a week if you train every day. Just you still keep the athleticism. Because now my handstand is not the way it was. My backflip doesn't exist anymore. So maybe it's better to keep it into it. Who knows? Yeah, probably yes, a bit. Yeah, but then again, if you teach a gym, maybe it's so inaccessible for most people that you're then again maybe better off to train your acrobatics outside of it. Yeah, and don't waste people time on the mat. But anyway, so what was the question?
I think I want to go in the direction if this wrestling is now such a dominant part of jiu-jitsu, and we would have capitalized early on.
Yeah, like probably back in the day, because it took it a bit the wrong way. Let's say, if it would have been like let's say that Kazeka was way ahead of his time around these parts, and especially in the wrestling department, because the Brazilians, I find, were notoriously lacking behind in the takedown game. Maybe not so much anymore, but especially in those early years. So he could have really capitalized on that. And he was also in MMA, so he still had at least the Gracie Barra. He was from Gracie Barra, so he had the Gracie Barra perspective of the self-defense. So to be honest, he probably had a more encompassing game and able that you can put in MMA, grappling, and jiu-jitsu, and even in wrestling, than most people train today.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a pity it didn't work out that way. Yeah.
Okay. Talking about wrestling warm-ups, I told you that I let the kids yesterday do a lot of cartwheels and all the stuff that we did back then, and that the wrestlers are doing. Your daughter does a lot of gymnastics and is pretty much daily on the mat. Do you think it gives her a big advantage?
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, she doesn't learn it through the mat. Look, so I do the warm-up games with the kids, like the cartwheels and the handstands. I do that. But I've never seen a kid learn it just by those 5 minutes we do on the mat. But I have seen kids like my daughter, because I like to put her in the spotlight. Hey, you have a show what you can do. Because for me, it's also a good thing to give her good self-esteem. And if I let her show off, then she wants to practice even more. Yeah. So the way I see is it's more the parents' duty to encourage that behavior in the kids. Like my daughter does gymnastics, but she does it. She used to do it twice a week, and not the high-level gymnastics. Because I wanted to put her in competitive gymnastics, but then either the test groups are never open, or it's 20 hours a week. So I don't want to put her too much in that. So now she does shear twice a week, which is one time tumbling and one time cheerleading itself, just as an extra to put her into it. Yeah. But so otherwise, look. But most of the things I see from handstand and cartwheels and walkovers, and now we're trying to do some backflips, is mostly because she always practices. When she's on the mat, she's always doing gymnastics. Going with her friends, always doing the same thing. And what I do it sometimes with her, I give her a YouTube, and I say, okay, look, let's at this video, let's analyze what happens, and I teach her this way. But mostly, she's ecologically learning gymnastics herself.
Yeah. When I started to train, or before that, I never did any sports. I was just playing computer games and was super stiff, even more stiff than now. And for me, the gymnastics and warm-ups made or opened up my abilities how to move, and that I'm not as clumsy as I was before. Like I wasn't able to do a front roll or a Granby roll. It took me 4 months, I think, until I could do a
So at
Granby.
the price of all this physique, you were the second best Warcraft team player.
The best.
The best Warcraft 3 player in Europe.
Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah, I only played one video game for many years, except Chess.com, Warcraft 3, yeah?
Yes.
And I always sucked. I was a turtle, making towers, yeah? So that's cool,
Okay,
but at the
okay.
price of...
Yeah, I can give you privates. So maybe there's a benefit. Does your daughter also deadlift?
Does my daughter deadlift? Yes. So we do some weightlifting, yeah, and I have exposure to deadlifting. More like with a small kettlebell, maybe 2 kilos, 3 kilos, like 10 kilos. Just the weight that she's just have the feeling, the feedback of the weight. I don't care too much about the weight. But what I do a lot with her is pull-ups. Dips seem to be harder for some reason for kids. So doing not a lot, but like twice a week we do pull-ups. Dips we work on. Squats I work on either on a slant board or regular. Split squats, which is very good. What else? Handstands. We did some handstand push-ups. Nordics I practice with her. I use the Roman chair for the back extensions. So what else? Sideways we do. Like sometimes just hanging as long as you can, put the toes to the bar. Yeah. So it's not like we do every week, because I also look like, because she does sports daily. And by the way, I have 3 daughters, so the baby is just hang on the bar and let's see how long she hangs. And the middle one I also let her practice. So it's more like, it's not like really forcefully training, but they see me work out every day, which I think is important. And in my family, I want to put into her head this, that I have to do sports every day. And if you ever get to like how many people do you know in your life? Oh, we are good to sports, you don't have time for that. Yeah. So if you ever come, I want to make them very clear. If you ever come to a point in your life, yeah, where you don't have time for yourself to train at least 1 hour a day, you failed. You failed somewhere in your life. So then maybe care less about your business and do that. Some phases, like sometimes you can have like an exam or like a deadline that you cannot train for like a day or 2 or 3. But consistently, the default is sports every day. So they have to train every day. And for me, every day means at least 5 times a week. But I don't tell them and I don't tell my wife. Because if they know, then it's 4 is also fine. 3, no. Every day. And 6 is fine. And 5 is a bit less fine, but still fine. Yeah. But not below that. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah.
So everybody's already hanging on the bar.
The girls, they are. And with elastics and make it easier a bit. Yeah.
Are they able to really, like, if they have like a band helping them to do some?
Sorry?
If you have like I don't know how is it called, expander, like the assistant bands for the pull-ups.
I use pull-up, I use the bands, and now they can do one themselves, or sometimes just push them up, hang as long as you can, and do negatives. Yeah. You just expose them to the environment, so also look for yourself. Yeah, look, man, I did weightlifting myself. Like I've done consistently since I was 15, pretty much my whole life. Yeah, and then at some point I always got to 160 kilos deadlift, and then I sprained my back, and I don't deadlift, or I sprain my back, or I have to deadlift again, and you don't feel like it, and then you don't do it for a few weeks, and again you only get to 120 kilos. So right now, look, whenever I start to feel like my weight lifting gets to a point like, oh no, not again, then I lower the weights, or I do a different program, but I want to be in the weight. So then the goal is not so much your record, because face it, like you're never gonna be able to push 200 kilos your whole life. But maybe it's a good goal to be able to push still 90 until you're 90 years old. Yeah. So I think for squats, I try to have a perfect squat. Now I'm 70 kilos, not perfect, but perfectly enough, I say. I want to get like a perfect one to my weight, 80 kilos. And that's a good goal to maintain forever. So the same for my girls. Can you do a pull-up without weight? Yeah, well, if you can do it with weights, it's probably your form. If you can do it with weights, your form without weights will probably be even easier and better. Yeah. So in that sense, maybe a bit with weights, but it's more like lifelong sporting and learning and see where you end up. Yeah, who knows? Huh?
Yeah. I think my grandfather got 93 years old, and until he was 92, he did daily push-ups and walking the steps, and he was also in the brain really, really clear till that. I think it's really useful if you just do it every day.
One of the saddest things I see is in school, in the gym, I had one guy, one kid, whose school grades were not, it was decent in jiu-jitsu, his school grades were not good. And the father said, he has to do more school learning and less sports. Okay, maybe his grades are now better, okay, I guess. Maybe went from having 45 to 55. Amazing, okay. Maybe you used to always, just imagine, imagine you always fail in mathematics and go from 45% to 55%. Okay, now you passed. But you're still not a mathematician. You're still not going to be the person who's going to work in maths. Yeah? Because to the next point, look, in school, why do you have to learn every single topic? Look, I can, in jiu-jitsu, get pretty much around being generally okay with everything and having one very deep niche. That's how everybody seems to be doing great. Yeah. So if you look around, like how many people do you know are good in everything? So why do you have to explore? No. I think it's valuable to have your kids in school explore every different subject there is, but only go deep in the things that they're interested in, but still force them to be interested in something. Yeah. So my best advice for everyone young is to get one passion where you go truly deep in, and then explore everything. And if you go very deep into that one passion, you will see that every other subject is also interesting because you appreciate the depth in everything. Like I can talk very well. I have good conversations in the gym very often with Stan and with Rafael Mertes. And both of them are musicians. They're pianists. And why? Because they can talk to me about the music. And I don't know jack shit about music. But the way they explain, say, look, the same principle. It's about balance. It's about timing. It's about posture even. Because funny thing is, look, the very first piano class you get, what is it you think? It's super funny. As they told me, it's like, sit on your piano, take a good posture, and then you start playing. And then magically, of course, the kid is only focused on the piano, so his posture will deteriorate. And after 20 years, okay, now do the same song, but actually make your posture. And everything goes easy and everything goes better. Same in jiu-jitsu. They teach you posture, then you forget about it, you get crooked for 20 years. Now do the posture again. It's like, that's what it meant. Yeah? Nice. So it's different things, yeah?
Just right before you came to Hagen, you went with kids to a kids camp.
Yes. So
please talk about that one.
I want to thank, from my gym, Frederik Wouters and his wife, Mieke, and my wife, and all the other parents who went with. So he put it to himself to make a kids camp in Wevelsburg. The topic was, the title was Defense Against the Dark Arts. That was the topic. So he wanted to make like a Halloween party and make it a bit like Harry Potter themed, and so that was the idea. So because we went to the castle, and then we had it was cool. It was first off a very cool castle with a nice history, and very like a historic town around, nature around. So we did some walks. We went to swim in the water. We play around with it, and we did training every day. And we did training, one class of jiu-jitsu and one class of karate. Because my idea was, let's just do jiu-jitsu. But then his cousin is a karate teacher. And let's do something else. Because like let people take. And in the end, it was a big success. And then the first evening, we put the most like the Jackie Chan, Will Smith son Karate Kid movie, and the kids were like, cool. It's like, okay,
and now all the kids just want to train karate.
Yeah, that was my fear. But it's like, hey, you know what is better? No, jiu-jitsu. So I still get it. Okay.
Will you repeat this camp next year?
It's my plan to do it, yeah. And this time we made actually some publicity about it on Instagram and Facebook. Either nobody saw it or there were no interest from outside. It would be very cool to do it next year again with some more kids from different gyms and different teachers maybe. But mostly kids. Like honestly, I've been teaching kids now for the last jiu-jitsu at least for the last 10 years, 12 years. And to be honest, it started really like, I really used to hate it because I had no clue how to do it. And then, like many places, like, okay, let's get some assistant coach. And again, let's put it to him. I don't want to do it, but we do it because we want to get the extra members later. And it's like, okay, but this is not fair. So then again, you get more passionate about it and you start to know the kids. And right now to be honest, it's my favorite classes. Because because they'll still listen. Yeah, you go to competition, they fail. You see in training, they fail. You give them tips. They don't fail because what can I say? It's not that they don't listen because they don't want it. They usually fail because it's too hard or they don't get it. Yeah, but it's a different thing than compared to a competitive adult who thinks they invented the whole game, we know the whole game already, and are pretty much uncoachable. The kids are coachable if I find the right way to coach them. Yeah. And
which age group was for the camp?
6 till 15. Younger kids could join, but the parents had to go with. Yeah, so because we don't want to, it's don't want to wipe too much tears in the evening. So that didn't happen. So that's fine.
Okay. And last time, actually, this seminar should have been like a couple of weeks ago, but you had a fight at Versus Invitational. How did it went? I seriously don't know right now.
I won, but it was a funny fight actually. I can post it. So, so first off, I fight the same guy in Grappling Industries a few months before. Okay, and then I won. Okay, and the guy complained, "Oh, it's not fair. It should not have been a sweep." Blah 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 blah. In the end, I won that match. The first match, 5-2. Yeah, but the first he was on this. Okay, good, whatever. Okay, good. So then I like to fight on invitationals. For me, the most fun is to do super fights. To be honest, yeah. It's less stress, and I think it's just more a better expression of the game. Yeah? And so Jeroen and Ella from my gym, they were also going to compete there. So Maarten Vervenne from Versus said, okay, look, but if you can put me a fight, please put me in. And then for a long time, I didn't hear anything. They couldn't find anyone. And then last minute, that guy also accepted. And then first thing I did was send the video of our match, how the first match was not fair. And then he sent it. I will post the match because there's some it was a pretty lame match, to be honest. Very lame because.
How did it end?
Yeah, I just swept him one time and then get half good position, get to the leg. Then it was 4 minutes no point, 4 minutes yes points. Yeah, so just sweep on the moment of the 4 minutes, get on top, score my 2 points. The guy disconnects. Okay, sit down again, and the guy didn't engage. He almost didn't engage the whole match. So it's a very hard thing to get a good fight if the guy doesn't engage. And what he did do was, every time I was close, cover my nose and mouth. I don't mind, but the rule said it's not allowed. And the referee said, yeah, it was not allowed, but since you always removed it, I didn't bother to say something. Yeah, you do realize you have to spend time doing it all the time. But anyway, so
okay.
Lame fight, but it's interesting from strategical perspective. I will post it sometime, maybe eventually, when I feel like it.
Okay. Besides this next kids camp next year, do you have anything else coming up that is maybe interesting for somebody?
Yes, next week we have a camp in our gym with Dino Bukalic. Dino is very interesting because he is a good friend from many. We actually got to know each other from the GJF competitions, you know, and the World Games. Yeah, I competed a few times with Dino, and back then like he was up and coming. Like I was more experienced. But these days, like Dino these days lives in. Actually, he first moved from Romania to England. That shows a lot of dedication. So because you leave your home country, go to England, make a living there teaching in another country, train with Roger Gracie. I don't think he got his black belt from. I don't actually give him his black belt, but yeah. And I moved to Austin, trains with at Kingsway at Gordon Ryan. So to be honest, look, I invited him because I know Dino, because he's a good friend of mine. I didn't see him for a while now, so I'm most interested in seeing him. And then also, like, he was already good before. I know he teaches well, and like a good selling point is he also trains with Gordon Ryan now. But to be honest, that is not. It's awesome, and I want to see what they do. But that's not the main reason. Like, but just come. It's gonna be amazing.
Is he living there right now?
I think he lives in. I don't know how he does it, but I know he lives in Texas right now, or at least I don't know if it's like a permanent visa. I will know in 2 weeks. Yeah, but.
Okay. Yeah. That's pretty cool. And I saw you will be at Francesco's place in Frankfurt also this year.
Yes.
He does his camp every year at the weekend where I have my son and can't make it, but maybe.
We do it on purpose.
Yeah.
No. So with actually already it's called the Lateral Thinking Camp, and it started with How did it go actually? It was actually like this. So Francesco's teacher was Octavio Couto, Racinho. And I know Racinho for many years before, like from training in Brazil, and he came to Belgium in the 15 years ago. And that was a very good understanding with Octavio. And then Octavio came randomly teaching a seminar in Belgium at Icon. Then I go there because I want to meet him. And for me, with Racinho was like like I didn't see my best friend in 20. It's like, okay, man, like no, we didn't miss a day. We both got older, but it was like straight the same connection as before. Okay, and then okay, and then I know he trained with Octavio, and then how did it happen actually? And then I think Francesco, if I get it correct, the first time Francesco did the lateral thinking camp, inviting Prit, me, and Octavio to teach a camp. And then he didn't. Okay, Francesco is too humble, so he didn't want to teach himself. So it was just the three of us then. And how can I say? But I don't remember how we made contact. Or maybe we made contact first at the Globetrotter camp with Francesco, and then we did it. I don't know exactly.
No, I think I know.
Yeah.
And I went at the first camp. I was there for Sunday. I think Francesco met Preet at a seminar because some friend told him it would be interesting for him. And Preet was very impressed by your work back then. This was the first year he was 2018.
Yeah.
And that was the connecting point.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah. And then, okay, of course, Octavio passed away last year. Yeah. And then, so last year we did only 1 or 2 years already. Like 2 years ago, he passed away. And then we did like in memory of him, like it was me, Prit, and Octavio.
Francesco.
Sorry, what the hell? Yeah. So me, Prit, and Francesco. And then this year, I think, because Francesco is also like, he's getting also more famous now. So, and he's always teaching seminars everywhere and on Globetrotter. So now I think he put the organization of the camp to Mark, and he's now one of the teachers. It's going to be Francesco, Chris Paines, Mark, and what's her name? I don't know the other name. And then someone else and me also.
Yeah. Okay.
One, I think Leah maybe. Two female teachers. I think, yeah. I have to check.
Okay.
Anyway, it's going to be fun. It's going to be there. It's going to be during Christmas market there. So like what is always fun for like as Francesco used to say, it's like a convention every time. You come together, exchange ideas, and that's it. Because like for me, it's like I always get caught into rabbit holes. And when I get caught into rabbit holes, that's the only thing. And then Prit is not there this year actually, but Francesco then gives you an idea, and then like last year we had like the conversation, like I completely disagreed with some things that were shown, and then I think okay, my stuff is better, but then I have to think after okay, look, I respect these guys, so if they believe in this, okay, it's at least worth investigate, and I say okay, I didn't get it, and so put you back with your ass on the floor also. Huh? So thank you, Francesco. Thank you, Prit. And Chris Paines is always amazing to peep into his chaos.
Yes.
It's good chaos.
Okay. Yeah. And then final question. We talked about Instagram famous figure Chris Bones. Chris Bones.
I'm a big fan. Yeah.
You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan. Yes.
What do you like about his work?
Well, at the beginning, the first time I saw it, like, man, I don't like this video. Because, like, it's like, he seems cocky. But then I start to realize it's sarcasm. Cool. And then I appreciate it. So the guy is just funny. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, first, something can rub you off, but if you realize it's a joke, that was funny. And then I think he also, like, say certain stuff this way because you have to be controversial to get success. Or if you don't, like, if you only get likers if you have haters. And if you're not willing to get either, to be hated, you cannot be liked. Yeah? That's pretty clear if you want to put your time in that. Yeah. So then, but what I like is first off, he talks self-defense, which is a lost art. And if you bring self-defense back into the game, everything becomes so much easier. It's like these days, like you put your both feet on the floor like this. Okay, then don't get to side control. Then not a guard pass. Look, you cannot respectfully call that a guard. If you're double under with your tails on the floor and they can bite your nose, that's not a guard.
Yeah.
But the stupid sport calls it a guard, so you have to deal with stupid shit like that. And then on top of that, look, if you go to IBJJF and you have someone there and the top player is not moving, they get penalized for keeping a good position. So what madness is that? Mm-hmm. So I think it's good to have another voice against that. Unfortunately, because of its spectators, because they want to cater to the fans and to the spectators, they keep changing the rules to make it more spectacular. The last thing you want to be is, if you do art of self-defense, is to be in a spectacular fight. I want to be in a boring fight. I want to do a fight that never starts, where I can talk my way out of it, or at least pose my way of whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this guy brings some stuff back to the floor. Yeah. Back to the base, and then I always like the concept he shows. Yeah. So my biggest, the two best videos creators on Instagram that I like is pretty much Chris Bones and Chris Houter.
Yeah.
Chris Houter is just it's awesome. It's just funny. It's super funny.
He is amazing.
Yeah, I can just listen to him 1 hour talk about whatever, just because it's funny, and it's very, very often the same rants over and over again. But it's good job. Look, when I did classes from him, his 2-hour class shows no techniques, just talks and slaps me and other people randomly in the face to teach you stuff. Oh, you think you have a guard? Oh, now you have a guard. Yeah, magic. Yes, that's cool. One detective slap corrected you a lot. Yeah, and then it's also funny. And then and I guess after 1 hour and 50 minutes, it's a seminar. So I guess I have to show you some technique. And then it's cool. Yeah.
At one Globetrotter camp, maybe my second or third in Leuven, he slapped the shit out of me. It was so funny. I wasn't angry about it, not at all. But it got completely filmed and never put up.
You know what is the worst part? Huh? The worst part of it. Look, I saw his seminar, and the first year, a few gets. What was the guy's name again? It was crap. The first years of the Globetrotter camps in Leuven, there was a wrestler. What was his name again? With the big beard.
From America?
Yeah, from America.
This T-Nation guy?
Yes!
Takedown Nation.
Yeah, Takedown Nation. Yeah. Because he even slept at my place at some point. They were a very good, but I didn't. Anyway, and so I liked that guy. And I said I hope he doesn't pick me. I hope he doesn't pick me. Why? I will see. You will see. So he didn't pick either of us. And then I picked a random guy. And that guy got to slap the shit out of him. So I know.
Maybe it was me. No, I wasn't there that year.
But I know what happened. And the next year, he picked me as a partner. And I already knew. So you think you have a guard? Yeah, I know. But it's still, I think I was doing the right things. He still slapped me to make a point. Yeah? So there was no way out of it.
He is super cool. I asked him to roll, and I was a purple belt, and somebody told me it's not polite to ask a black belt this old school stuff. And then then he agreed to me next day, and it was about he wanted me to start on the bottom, and I learned so much about guard passing in that round. He took away all my space and went through my guard. It was amazing.
I have a funny story. Look, so one of the best compliments I personally got in my life was this. I was on the camp, and the first year Chris Houter was there. So I was rolling. He's like, "Hey, you want to roll with me?" I said, "Well, look, I'm a bit old. Can you start in my close guard?" Mm-hmm. I say, "Yeah, of course." And look, I want to exchange energy. I don't care about winning ever. Yeah. So I'll try to be fully connected. So I play. I'm in close guard. I'm moving around. He taps me with an arm bar in 10 seconds. I see this look in his eyes what the fuck are you? I really see the disdain in his eyes. What the fuck? So okay, that was good. And then we go again, and then just clicked. And then the perfect round of finding for millimeters, going in, going out, going in. Sometimes he sweeps, sometimes I sweep. Just a game of connection. Yeah. And we rolled for 45 minutes until the end of the open mat. Mm-hmm. It's man, that was one of the best rules. That was
amazing.
It's you get it. It's awesome. For me, it was okay, you get it. Yeah. So what do I get? I don't know. But what I think I get is, what I hope he meant that I get is the connection. Yeah. Because Rickson always talks about, one of the best videos I saw about, what was on YouTube before was the video with what's it called again? Doesn't matter. Was where Rickson appears, and it's always one invite a guest instructor. So they invite the meow. Show your berimbolo. Mm-hmm. Okay, another guy get invited. Show you. What is the channel again?
Budo videos.
Yeah.
Yes, Budo Jake and.
Budo Jake. That was it. Was yes. And then they invite Rickson. Grandmaster, can you show us? No, just master. No, grandma. Okay, I'm going to show you self-defense, weight distribution, just frames leaning forward. Bam. So you have all these high-level champions, whatever, and then Rickson comes, just simple shit. Think, thought, and then I never trained with Rickson. It's like, okay, so what if this is the base of everything else? Because if he thinks that's the most important thing to show on a big screen, on a big platform, then probably it's something to think about, yeah. And this is in the time that everybody shits on self-defense. But like, if that guy thinks it's like, I have to think, like Rickson being one of the best MMA fighters, at least in his era, yeah, and having all done that, and probably made many mistakes in his life and had many drama, like big drama in his life because of Sunday, yeah, then still get to that point, yeah. So then you have to think, okay, probably very valuable. And if one of the, after that I was looking for, okay, what is connection? Like I always talks about breathing. So breathing is probably connection to yourself, yeah. So okay, let's think connection. And then I got to roll with Chris and said, okay, you get it. Oh, thank you. That's cool. So I hope it was that.
Yeah. In the same video, he also showed the UPA. And I remember everybody was blown away how easy he made it. And yeah, that was cool. And Chris Horta also trained the next day with me and asked me. It was really, really good. Of course, he has to take care of himself and be a little bit careful, maybe not to get any spasms, but yes.
Especially stand-up, because like this happened to me. Look, my ugly scar I have, like, just from the headbutt in doing stand-up during 3 weeks ago. So if I get injured, it's usually with the stand-up, because rough people can go way more rough when they stand up.
Okay, now we talked way more than I expected. Thank you, Wim. We do it like a handshake for the video.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.